This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Stick around until the end of the video to learn more about Squarespace and to get access to a special offer. Time. Most of us need more of it, and it's lack of time that prevents us from doing the things we want to do, like working out. While it's easy to dismiss a lack of time as an excuse, the truth of the matter is that some people really don't have time. You never know what's going on in someone else's life. But I would argue that most people can find at least an hour a week, or maybe 10 minutes a day, to do something. The problem here though, is that it doesn't seem like enough. So why waste time on training that won't be enough of a stimulus to affect any real change, when you could just sit down for 10 minutes instead? Well, here's the thing, every hour counts, and if you can only manage an hour a week, that's still far better than nothing, and you can still make gains. You just need to moderate your expectations, prioritize, and train smart.
In a recent video, I explained how training every single day, if possible, could be really good for you. However, now I'm going to discuss the opposite end of the spectrum, how training just once a week for 1 hour can still be enough to get some amazing results. So obviously you're not going to get as good results training just 1 hour a week as you would do training for 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not suggesting that you go out your way to do this. However, if you're not training because you think there's no point because you've got so little time, then I'd ask you to reconsider. So what I'd personally do if I only had an hour to train per week is to split my training into 6 10-minute mobility sessions, because I think for most people, mobility is the most important thing that's missing. If you only do mobility training for 10 minutes, you could do 5 different stretches for 2 minutes each, and that would be enough to make a significant difference if you did it almost daily to the way you move, the way you feel, your energy levels. It could help to reduce injuries and aches and pains. So specifically, the 5 stretches I would do is probably a deep squat. I do some kind of deep forwards lunge to stretch the hip flexors. I do something overhead, perhaps a hang. I do a bridge for my back, perhaps, and a pancake stretch. If it's burning calories and losing weight that you're interested in, then there's even more good reason to train, even if you only have an hour a day.
I explained in a previous video that skipping for just 10 minutes a day could burn anywhere between 100 and 300 calories, depending of course on your weight and your intensity. Use a weighted rope for added credit. Of course you need to take this with a pinch of salt, consider things like our BMR, but worst case scenario that's going to add up to about 600 calories a week, best case scenario maybe 1,800, and that'll make a huge difference to your overall energy balance. You could make a similar dent with 2 half-hour Metcon workouts or a run. Maybe this would even be more effective. Find this boring? Then how about meeting up with friends for an hour of football or something similar? A gentle walk can do a world of good too.
As for building muscle and strength, well, that's a little bit more difficult, but it's certainly still not impossible, and definitely not a waste of time.
So a half-hour workout is probably long enough to get a warm-up in and to perform some near max lifts on 2 exercises. So if you take 10 minutes to warm up and you do 4 sets in total, you're going to need about 12 minutes of rest between sets. That's 3 minutes each. But that still leaves a good 8 minutes for the actual lifts, which is plenty. You don't actually spend that long lifting a weight, especially if you're only doing like 4 reps. Warm up with working sets, and you could then do 2 sets of the deadlift, the bench press, the squat, or the military press. And as you can fit in 2 sessions, you can do all 4 of those things. You'll need to be very efficient, and you'll need to go easy so as not to rush your workout and hurt yourself. I'm not exactly recommending this, I'm just making the point that it's certainly doable, and you'd likely make some strength gains, especially as a newbie. For building size, if aesthetics is your priority, I'd recommend doing some massive drop sets, targeting a push movement, a pull movement, your legs, your traps, and some curls. A drop set could mean performing a heavy bench press to technical failure, then immediately lowering the weight, and then switching to push-ups. If you take relatively short rest times and pump out 3 sets, you're going to feel the burn and the DOMs the next day, trust me. And you can do that in 10 minutes. Again, I'm not saying this is optimal or desirable, I'm just saying you can certainly get some benefits from it. What's more to the point though, is that you actually only need minimal stimuli in order to maintain muscle. Jeff Nippard made a great video on this. He found one study that showed that simply walking could significantly slow muscle loss during time off the gym. Maintaining regular activities can do even more. And better yet, according to one study, reducing training volume to just 1/9 of your usual could be enough to maintain muscle mass entirely for up to 32 weeks. There's an argument to be made that for a lot of people, just maintaining actually makes a lot of sense once you're at the point you want to be at. And if nothing else, this will prevent the worst atrophy and deterioration. The body is dynamic, always moving, and if you aren't getting better, you're getting worse. Then there's the fact that you can easily train to learn skills in an hour. That might mean learning martial arts, getting better at skipping, learning to juggle, learning to handstand, or even improving your technique on specific lifts, or calisthenics moves. Remember, strength is a skill. Well, remember when you used to go to martial arts lessons for 1 hour a week as a kid? You still learned martial arts, right? Maybe you weren't Bruce Lee, and you would have been more formidable had you trained more frequently, but the point is you can definitely learn in that short time. You probably did the same with piano or violin or something. Spreading it out is better, as it greases the groove and takes advantage of the spaced learning effect, but either way you can get some benefits. And learning, after all, is one of the most important aspects of fitness and performance. But then there are all the other, less obvious benefits of even just doing an hour of exercise per week. It gets you outside, often it's social, and it's amazing for your mental health, boosting your mood, aiding with your sleep, and stimulating neuroplasticity. This is a topic that's actually near and dear to my heart, as I noticed that, as a parent, a lot of YouTube content is simply not aimed at me anymore. Sure, those perfect morning routine videos sound great, but there's zero chance of me doing a single one of those things when I'm feeding my daughter and changing my son's nappy. Again, I'm not recommending that you only train for an hour a week. That certainly is not the aim of this video. But rather I'm saying that if you only have 1 hour, and a lot of people genuinely do, you should still train in that hour, because that's better than nothing, and in fact it can do a huge amount of good. A huge thank you to Grant for filming this one. He shot 90% of the dynamic shots here and they came out amazing. I literally just threw a gimbal at him and a new anamorphic lens and I said, we've got 3 hours. As always, he did an incredible job. And thank you to the Fat Zebra Cafe in Bicester and Anytime Fitness Bicester, both for letting me film on their sites. You guys probably know Anytime, they're a great brand of gym and my personal choice. And the Fat Zebra Cafe is an amazing cafe if ever you're in Bicester that makes fantastic coffee and has a really great vibe. And if you like this training, you can check out my ebook and training program, Super Functional Training 2.0, which now also comes with over 2 hours of training videos that will demonstrate and explain all of the moves involved, plus an 80-page ebook and tons of extras. I'll put a link to that in the description down below. If you want to check out my previous video on why you can and should train every single day, then that should be popping up right about now. And as always, thank you so much for watching this one, guys. I really appreciate it.
And bye for now.
You know what else you can do quicker than you think? Set up a website, especially if you use today's sponsor, Squarespace. So Squarespace is a powerful online platform that lets you develop modern, attractive and professional websites really easily and with zero coding. So this way you can turn your passion into a business in no time at all. Squarespace makes this easy thanks to a number of features. Those include gated members-only content for easy revenue generation, member management, inbuilt email communications, audience insights, then you get fully integrated commenting with threaded comments, replies and likes, powerful blogging tools for sharing content, categorizing posts, scheduling, publishing and more, and social media integration to display posts from your social profiles directly on your website or push social media content automatically. And if you want to set up your own shop, then you can take advantage of the powerful e-commerce capabilities, with additional third-party extensions providing inventory management, marketing, streamlined bookkeeping, sales tax reconciliation and filing, and logistics for shipping internationally. So if you want to start your own online business but think it's going to be too complicated, then this might be a great place to start. As I said before, the Bioneer started as a website first, and setting that up was honestly one of the very best decisions I ever made. So go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, Bioneer viewers can get 10% off the purchase of their first site or domain by going to squarespace.com/Bioneer today. Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and thanks so much to you guys for sticking around. Bye for now.